So Xbox is coming out with a portable console, Bird.
Just look at it as I stretch it.
So Microsoft just a couple days ago announced their Xbox Ally consoles, which they're working with alongside Asus, and they're going to look familiar minus the two hand grips. I've been calling them something else. If you watch my live streams, which you should, make sure you sub to the channel. But it's an interesting device that Microsoft is releasing. Again, they're working with Asus, and you're going to see a lot of design cues from the ROG Ally. But the thing that is differentiating, minus the grips, that's differentiating the Ally X and Ally, they're going to be selling two flavors of the Xbox portable console, is the fact that it's going to have the Xbox full screen experience. It's still Windows 11 under the hood, but they're making it that you go right into the Xbox full screen experience. That name is terrible, but that's what it's called. And essentially, it's turning Windows into the Xbox UI. And I'm hearing that they're even tweaking some stuff with the code under the hood of Windows to hopefully make games run better. Now, another interesting thing about the Ally consoles, the Xbox Ally consoles, I should say, is they're releasing them in two flavors. And one of the specs should sound familiar to you. Anyway, here are the two different models. The base one, which does not have the X at the end of it, is just the Xbox Ally. It's going to start sounding a little bit familiar here. The CPU is the AMD Ryzen Z2A. It has 8 RDNA 2 GPU cores. The SSD is 512 terabytes, or gigabytes, I should say, 512 terabytes. Be nice if it did have that. Anyway, moving on. The CPU cores, it's a quad-core CPU, and they're based on Zen 2. Are you starting to notice something here if you pay attention to this? 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 60 watt-hour battery. So if you pay attention to the specs of the Xbox Ally, it seems like they just plopped the same chip that's in the Steam Deck in the base model, which the Steam Deck is now a few years old. So I'm hoping that they're doing that as a cost-cutting measure, even though I wouldn't recommend getting something with that chipset unless it's as cheap as maybe a base Steam Deck for 2025. I just think that SoC is long in the tooth. It still could do a decent amount of gaming, but it's getting up there. So, but unless, hey, maybe they're going to offer it at like $450, which wouldn't be a bad deal. I don't think so, though. They just raised the price of their soon-to-be 5-year-old consoles, Microsoft. I don't think this is going to be that cheap. Moving on, though. Now, the premium Xbox Ally console, which is the Xbox Ally X, is going to have the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme processor. It's going to have 16 GPU cores, or compute units, of RDNA 3.5, which is similar to AMD's AI 370 HX370 CPU. 1 terabyte of storage, which is still nothing in 2025. I wish it had 512 terabytes of storage. Like I said, for the Xbox Ally, again, 512 gigabytes is what it actually has. This is going to have an 8-core, 16-thread processor, and it's based on Zen 5 architecture, whereas the base Ally is based on Zen 2. Because it's using the Steam Deck SoC. You can't convince me otherwise. This model is going to have 24 gigabytes of RAM. It should have been 32, but 24 is okay. And it's going to have a bigger battery, which is 80 watt hours. So you should get a longer gameplay experience, so long as it's not just there to offset the more power-hungry CPU, which could very well be the case. All right, so many of you think I'm going to have a negative take on this. I don't. I'm actually curious and a bit excited for the Xbox Ally consoles. I have been very critical of Microsoft recently. I don't really know how you can have more than 2 brain cells and not be for many of the choices that they've made. But if they make this work on these Xbox consoles, it's a very good thing, because it means that one, they've streamlined the PC gaming experience, which I think Austin Evans said this too, and I think he had a very good point, and I think he's right. I think this is what Microsoft is looking to do. They see that SteamOS is being brought to other devices. They see that people love SteamOS. Shout out to the Steam Deck for making SteamOS so relevant. And they're like, wait a second, we can't let Windows go to the wayside of SteamOS. Because if you saw recently, people are putting SteamOS on other devices, and SteamOS, these are games running through a Proton layers because these games are made for Windows to run on SteamOS, which is based on Linux, and they're outperforming Windows, which the games are supposed to run on natively. Let that sink in. So I think Microsoft sees this and they're like, wait a second, man, we got a problem here. We're still the main experience that people go to, or the main operating system people go to play games on. But if we don't do something now, that could change. And I think that's what they're doing with these Xbox handhelds, because if you remember, they're still running it on Windows 11. Okay, it's essentially a skin, a well-integrated skin, the Xbox full screen experience. They got to change that name. That's on top of Windows 11. And Austin Evans said this as well. They actually had people from the Xbox team working on Windows 11 code, allegedly. We'll just keep it as a rumor. But that's something you do when you're looking probably to streamline how games run on Windows 11. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. It'll be interesting to get it in my hands to see how games actually perform. And it'll be interesting to see, most importantly, if games run better in the Xbox full screen experience. Now, how this could all fall apart is if this is released by Asus and Microsoft and the full screen experience sucks. If you get the Xbox Ally or Ally X and games run just the same as they would on a Windows-based handheld with similar processors, this whole concept is cooked. But if they get games to run even somewhat better, I think this could be a good thing. And one thing I like about the Ally X, all jokes aside about the handles, it may not be pretty, but man, it's probably going to be very ergonomic. So we'll see, man. I'm kind of excited for this. I'm going to get my hands on one when it releases later this year. And hopefully Microsoft does do a 180 with how Windows 11 handles games and how these portable handhelds, when they have Windows on it, run, because it's not a great experience. It's not very user friendly, and the games need to perform better. But only time will tell if this will actually happen. Hopefully Microsoft has learned from their mistakes and they prove it with the Xbox Ally portable hardware. This is Rich Tomorrow signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you watched the whole video, what the hell are you doing? You're not subbed yet? Click that sub button. I live stream here all the time. We have a good time. Make sure to become a subscriber. It's free. Click the button now and hit that bell too. Be a man.